Now let's talk about the column headings, because this is one of the things that I get a lot of questions on. Is there's a lot of information when I log into maintenance care and I don't know how to navigate it so it's not so overwhelming in my view. It's a really good question to ask because you might not need all of this information in your view. So what you want to do is you want to probably streamline your view down to basic information and then add to it. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy to do. Any one of the column headings here on my screen, you'll see how when I put my mouse over top of it, it sort of turns color and there's a little arrow there. Okay, doesn't matter which one I go to, I can go to any one and I will get that little arrow. If I click on that little arrow, I get this little box that pops up and I can sort this column, but this is what I'm looking for, this static setting. If I come over here, same thing, static setting. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to start either checking or unchecking boxes. And what I usually recommend, especially at the start of using a system, is think about your request page and the information that goes in on the request page. And the request page, remember, is what staff members would be using to put a work order in. What's on it? Well, the task type is on it. So I'm going to make sure that that's checked off. I've taken out my task number and I can add that back in if I want, but right now I'm going to streamline my view. Remember, the task number is inside the work order and you determine the view that is more appropriate for you. Task type, okay, so that's definitely one I want. I need the area. What area is the problem in, or where is the work order? The room, the comments. The comments are what the problem is or what needs to be done. The date it was created, that's automated within maintenance care. So I definitely want to see the date that it's created, who submitted it. And then I'm just going to sort of make my way down the list till I have everything I need, till I get to the very bottom in status. So just by unchecking those boxes, my view became very simplified. Type of work order, the area, the room, the comments, the date it was created, who submitted it, and the status. Now I look at this and it's not so busy and it's a little bit easier for me to navigate. As I make my way through starting to use the system, then I'm going, well, I need to know who the work order is assigned to. Well, again, I can go to any one of my columns and I can add the assigned to column, right? I can add whether or not there's an attachment and it shows up with a little paper clip. Just like in an email, it shows up with a little paper clip, okay? I want to know how old the work order is. So again, I am able, just with a little click on the little box, to determine the information that I see and is necessary to me, okay? So always go down to a streamlined view and add to that view. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get into work order management. The other thing you probably don't know is you can actually adjust the column size. So if I'm adding or removing columns, I can adjust them. I can also move them. So for example, if I want area over here, I can just click and drag it. And then again, as I'm adding or removing columns, I can adjust them. Okay. One thing to remember about column settings, they are adjustable through all parts of the system. So any part that you might have access to will allow you to go in and adjust your columns to provide you the view that you need to see. There's always a default view in all of the columns in any part of the system, but that doesn't mean that's the defined view, right? You can change that view.